Hi there. Welcome to Cocoon of Cool Collectibles. And I wanted to give you guys a bit more background on me and why I started this channel and what my plan is. I said in my initial video that this is kind of my retirement project. I started acquiring sports card inventory a couple years ago. It's my plan to retire sometime within the next 5 to 10 years and then open up my own little online card and collectible shop. So mostly just cards and coins. And that'll give me something to do in my retirement. So that's my plan. So my theory at the time was, as I mentioned in the previous video, I've got lots of time. I've got lots of space. And I actually have quite a bit of disposable income. So it made sense, at least in my brain, not so much in my wife's, every time she sees a new package come in the door. But it made sense in my mind anyway that, if I plan on retiring sometime in the next 5, 10 years, and this is something that I'd like to do, that it would make sense to start acquiring inventory now. And then as time evolves, as we know, things tend to appreciate with price. So that was my initial plan and still is my initial plan. Another reason why I chose to get into this, not just for the retirement gig aspect of it, but also something I want to talk about more on now is the economy and how I actually see sports cards as being an opportunity to diversify my assets a little bit. Bit of background about me: I'm a CPA by training, and that's kind of my day job, so to speak. Hence the reason why I want to retire. But yeah, I think, where was I going with this? I think that another reason why I started looking into not so much sports cards, but alternative assets, let's say, is I've completely lost faith in the stock market. I think it's a big casino. And not to say that sports cards aren't, but yeah, I no longer believe that the quote unquote the elites, or whatever we're calling the people who really run this world, um, I don't believe that they have our best interests at heart. I think that the American economy is going into a massive recession, if not a depression. I think that the American economy will declare bankruptcy, or the debt will be declared bankrupt sometime within the next 5 to 10 years. And yeah, I think it's going to be a really rough time in the United States in the next 5 to 10 years. And we're already seeing that. If you look at inflation since 2021, last I checked, it had been up by something like 24% over that 3 year period or 4 year period. So we're all poorer now than we were several years ago. And we all know that. I mean, we all go to the grocery store, we all eat, and we all see that our money is not going as far as it used to. And the reason is inflation, but the reasons why they tell you are not the actual reasons. They blamed everything. They blamed inflation on COVID. They blamed it on supply shocks. They blamed it on, uh, all these other things like conflicts with, Russia or whatever it may be. The reality is the U.S. dollar is being debased, and it has been for decades now. The purchasing power of the U.S. dollar has been in decline since I've been alive, if not previous to that, actually. Um, and we this is something we all know because we all spend money, and we all know that our dollar doesn't go as far as it used to, right? And that's the inflationary effect of how dollar debasement comes. Now, the other issue that we have with the US dollar in particular is, as a reserve currency, it's rapidly losing its importance as the reserve currency, as frankly, countries don't want to invest in America anymore, frankly. And, I can't say I blame them, because why would you? You've got a government that is constantly racking up more and more debt. I think it's at 37 trillion now. No plans to change that trajectory whatsoever. And then you've got an administration that's changing its mind willy-nilly on tariffs, for example, seemingly week to week. So, yeah, it's going to be a bad ride for us. And what that means for the US dollar is all of these foreign entities, that countries that used to, need US dollars in order to do their own commerce, or just as a safe place to put their money, they're no longer doing that. And China's the biggest example. China used to be the second largest holder of U.S. Treasuries. Now it's the third, and it's dropped in the last, say, 2 or 3 years. I think it's reduced its holdings of U.S. Treasuries by over $500 billion. So that's a significant amount of money that you need someone else to pick up the slack in order for you to keep the printing machine going. So I guess what I'm saying is, with a $37 trillion debt, no plan to reduce it, and your customers are all backing away from you, it's a mathematical equation at this point that the U.S. will be bankrupt at some point. And this is not just me, some guy on YouTube saying this. Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, has said the same thing. The CEO of Bank of America, I forget his name offhand right now, he said the same thing. So it's coming. So, and look no further than this little chart that I've show you here. And this is the price of gold that we've seen in this is the last year. So the price of gold has gone up over $1,000 in the last year. And what that means is people are no longer putting their money into treasuries. They're dumping their money and putting it into gold, because they see that as a safer asset. And because of that, next little chart I wanted to show you, this is the 10-year interest rate. So basically your 10-year rate is what determines a lot of other rates, such as your mortgages and stuff. So it's a really important rate. As you can see here, it's gone up. This is the 5-year view. Look at this. In 5 years, it's gone from, effectively zero up to 4.37%. So that's a tremendous growth. And what that means is the US's interest on the debt has also grown, because as your interest rate goes up, so too do your interest payments. So it's to the point now where interest on US debt, I believe, is now the third largest line item in the US government's budget, after Medicare and Medicaid. So it's even surpassed the Department of Defense, I believe, at this point. So those are just a couple little handy charts I wanted to show you. And getting back to how this all relates to collectibles. Well, as I see it, and there's an old adage that goes something along the lines of, if you don't own it, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. So unless you physically own a piece of silver, you'll never own it. So as I said with the stock market, if you believe that the stock market is as crooked as they come, and it's built so the house always wins, then why would you invest in it? But if you want a place to, hedge your wealth and protect the value of your dollar, gold and silver, physical assets basically, is where you want to put your money. And, when I say physical assets, gold, silver, real estate, and yes, collectibles. Having done a lot of research on this before I jumped into it, and just having, known people who have been involved in as well. Collectibles are a pretty liquid market. So, obviously nothing's as good as cash, but you can move things pretty quickly if needed, as you can with, gold and silver. So that was a benefit to me. And also, obviously the cool factor of it is just getting into, a new hobby, and one that I had a lot of fun with when I was a kid. But the other thing that, I look at collectibles for, like gold, like silver, like real estate, whatever, it tends to go up over time. And that's where you're hedging against inflation. So, some of the boxes of cards that I bought last week, let's say, hopefully in 5 to 10 years' time, when I go to sell them, they'll be worth, X amount more. I'm not looking for a huge amount, but if I maintain the value or if it goes up a little bit, I see this whole strategy as being a way to have fun, but also as a way to hedge against inflation with my cash. So, me having a savings account with a bunch of money in it, it's not doing me any good, because every day that those dollars are becoming more and more worthless, um, because they're nominal values and not real values after inflation. So hopefully that makes sense. If not, put a question in the comments, and I'm happy to answer. But I guess where I'm going with this as well is it's going to be a really rough ride the next 5 to 10 years. So where I see the hobby itself going, I think that, yeah, we're probably going to see a cycle where prices are depressed, because people just won't have the disposable income. They won't have the money. They won't have a job. Like, when you don't have a job and you're in a recession or a depression, picking up the Patrick Mahomes rookie is probably not your priority. So I do expect there, over the next several months, I think it'll come quick too. Um, we're going to see a rapid deceleration in our economy over the next year. So everything that Trump has done with these tariffs, these are all lagging things that usually take 6 months to a year to filter through the economy before you start seeing the effects. But we're already starting to see some of those effects too. People are getting laid off, and people are becoming more desperate. So I expect the card industry, like all collectibles, to or everything really, retail, you name it. I think everything's going to go into decline, because that's what happens in a recession. For me, I think my strategy during this recession will be, I'll be scaling back myself, because there's always uncertainty. But I'll keep buying, because I think that, number one, I'm comfortable enough with my finances, and secondly, I still have the goal. Like, I have a definite goal to uh, retire and have some fun before I get too old. So, not that I'm old now, but in 5 to 10 years, I'll be that much older, and I don't want to do the whole corporate thing until the wheels are about to fall off me. So I'd rather retire early and do some things just for me. So I'm really excited about that stage. Um, I'll keep acquiring during the recession. Hopefully, I'll get some deals along the way. That's just the nature of what a recession is. And yeah, I'm just really excited to keep, posting videos and getting into the hobby. Like, if you watch my first one, my first video where I described what led me to get back into this is all pretty new to me now. I haven't collected cards since I was a kid back in the 80s. And here I am now, I probably spent 100 grand in the last year on cards and boxes and stuff. And so I'm definitely having a lot of fun acquiring stuff. And I'm definitely having a lot of fun watching, other YouTube channels and just learning about the industry. I mean, it's so different from what I remember with all the various exclusive boxes, and I didn't know what a refractor was. So I'm, really happy to get back into the hobby and hopefully make it a business, like I said. So, if you're interested, I'll certainly have comments to make about the industry or the economics of it all or whatever. And hopefully show you some stuff that I buy along the way. And please like, share, subscribe. And if you have any comments, happy to answer them. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this. Just like I said, buying lots of silver, buying tons of cards, and learning about all the new stuff that wasn't around when I was a kid, like relics and refractors and autos and all this stuff just didn't exist back in the day. So I'm having a lot of fun learning about that stuff and learning about what makes cards valuable. And hopefully we can all get through this coming recession soon, but doesn't seem like it, because it seems like on top of this recession, we seem to be hell bent on going to war with half the world too. So that won't help, and we won't win, which will only exacerbate our problems. It is what it is. Take care, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one, and everyone.